for the great groundbreaking and opening. So let's see, with that, we can move to, I guess, Q&A. We've obviously got significant bench strength here. Should probably have like a bench. And anyway, we maybe have too many people on stage, but we'll try to answer questions within reason. This is meant to be kind of more of a long-term sort of discussion as opposed to, what will be the production for the rest of the quarter type of thing. So let's try to orient our questions towards long-term value creation. And with that, fire away.
Rod?
Hi, it's Rod Lash with the Wolf Research. Very exciting plans about the next generation vehicle and powertrains and batteries. I was hoping you can maybe talk to us a little bit about the timeline for deploying this. And it sounds like it's more than just a vehicle. This is a kind of a paradigm change on how vehicles are assembled, how batteries are put together and everything. And does that also just get reconfigured into everything that you do? So the Model Ys that are being built here will be built very differently in the future. Maybe just give us some feel for what happens from here and what's the timeline for implementation.
Well, I'll talk a little bit about that, but broadly speaking, the most profound architectural changes will be in future vehicles. Retooling a factory means bringing the factory down for an extended period of time, and that would prefer not to do that, I think. But there are variants in how Model Y is produced. So we've got variants where there's rear casting, where there's a front and rear casting, and we have the structural battery pack. And then there are a number of smaller improvements that occur. But I think for really, really big changes, those would be future vehicles. Yeah, I don't know, you guys want to add? Lars, maybe?
Me? Yeah. So, I mean, as far as, yeah, I agree with you 100%, Elon. It's really easy to put innovations in new vehicles, but long term, we'll obviously bring them back. We've always talked about that, but we don't want to take our factories down. As far as the timeline goes, we're going to go as fast as we can, left to right. As always, Elon alluded to the fact that Mexico will build our next-gen vehicle, but we will also be doing that in our other plants. And so it's really about getting them all up and running. We expect that to be a huge volume product, and we're going to move that quickly over the next couple of years.
Let's go to Adam.
Thanks. First, enhorabuena, Mexico. Vamos. That's great. Congratulations. Elon, a question on applying first principles thinking and innovation to an area that up to now has seemingly been outside of your control, and that is on mining and extraction of some of the key materials. I believe a couple years ago you had a patent on sodium chloride to extract lithium from some clays and spodumene clay and things of that nature. How does that fit into the plan of maybe bringing real innovation into a mining sector that could use a little, maybe waking up and getting those costs down, because that could be a real gating factor, it seems.
Well, we're going to address whatever we think the limiting factor is at any point in time. So we would like to do the least amount possible. So we don't want to get into the mining or refining sector. We will do that if we have to. I do think the focus really should be on refining capacity. We need to make just a very giant amount of anode cathode lithium hydroxide, lithium carbonate. It's really the refining capacity that is the biggest choke point. Yeah, so that's why we're building a lithium refinery in Corpus Christi.
In terms of the mining companies that are out there and looking at that part of the value chain. So we do have large suppliers of lithium right now, and they are aware of how we're approaching the Corpus refinery and the technologies we're trying there. And the reason we're making them aware of it is because we think they're fundamentally more scalable. And as we prove them out, we plan to share that with them. Because as Elon says, like, it's not really like we want to do these things. We're doing them because it's not happening fast enough. So if we can prove that it can be done faster, the intention is to transfer that knowledge to our current suppliers. And the same is actually true. It was actually a clay process that we're playing with and we continue to work on. Same is true on that. So we've worked with our suppliers as well on trials and we're sharing knowledge there. And the intention is just to help the whole world do this better. And ultimately, this here is getting the lithium out, or whatever it is, out of the ore.
And we're obviously building a cathode processing facility just adjacent to this building. So a little further down the road, you'll see another large construction. That's for cathode refining. But like I said, we'd really prefer if others did that. We're doing it because we have to, not because we want to.
Yeah, and in that case, there just isn't really any large-scale cathode production in the United States, and it needed to be done. And again, if we're going to do it, we're going to try to do it from a first principles perspective. So we have tried a bunch of new things there. We're confident that they will work. And as they prove out, again, we want to bring them back to our suppliers so that they can build new facilities more quickly with less investment.
All right, let's go to Ben.
Hi, Ben Kaler for Baird. So similar on the renewable side, is there more that you can do in Tesla to nudge the rest of the renewable industry to speed up, since it's such a big pillar of the Master Plan 3?
Well, I mean, I don't know what more we can do, but I can say that if there's like entrepreneurs out there that want to have like a guaranteed chance of success, it would be refining lithium or anode and cathodes or any materials whatsoever for lithium-ion cells. It's a no-brainer. Yep. I think we're doing everything we can. So.
Yeah, on the renewable energy thing, the thing that we can do, Tesla, is the more we reduce the cost of storage, the more we reduce the cost of stationary storage, and the more we bring like flexible load to the grid in the form of like cars charging at the right times, the more valuable renewables are. Because in like Texas right now, I wasn't joking, like this off or whatever. So bringing really low cost storage onto the grid makes renewables more valuable, which ultimately will accelerate their deployment. So that's how we focus on it, I guess.
Yeah, Felipe.
Thank you. It's Philippe Bouchot at Jefferies. I've got two questions. The first one, when I think about in this industry, everybody wants to be Tesla. Every car maker is trying to emulate what you're doing. Well done. The one thing they don't do is focus on having as much growth as possible with as few models as possible. So I'm just trying to understand, as you aim for 20 million units in 2030, how many models do you think you need to get there? And how does it fit into your drive to hyperscale? How do you manage this? And also the fact that probably consumers at some point don't want to see a Tesla or the same Tesla at every street corner. So I'm just trying to get your sense of that. And my other question is on bidirectional. I mean, you talked a lot about making a world more renewables and better usage of cars. I think bidirectional charging is one way of better using cars, but you seem to have been reluctant about doing that in the past. So I'm just wondering what your latest views are on the topic.
Sure. On bidirectional, it wasn't like a conscious decision to not do it. It just wasn't a priority at the time, I think is maybe the way to think about it. As we continue to improve the power electronics in our vehicle, we've found ways to bring bidirectionality while actually reducing cost of power electronics in the vehicle. And as at all things Tesla, the goal is usually to get more for less. And so we are in the middle of kind of like a power electronics retool, I would say, that will bring that functionality to all of our vehicles over the next, 2 years, let's say.